with like a lot of memes.
Those are good memes.
This year was just memes.
Thoughtful banter. Sometimes thoughtful, mostly banter. All the memes.
Welcome to the Thoughtful Banter podcast. If you guys have been fans for the show for a while, we appreciate it. We are on episode 5 right now.
5 or 6, something like
that. I don't even know either. I can't even judge. I think we're on episode 5 right now. That's crazy.
Sorry, I missed my coffee this morning. It's like I don't drink coffee.
You don't drink coffee, bro. You don't like that black coffee. You like that tea. You like that soft stuff. Yeah, I'm swinging. What are you going to do about it? Saint's upset right now. Saint's kind of in a cranky mood.
I'm really not.
You upset now?
Yeah, because you said I was upset. I wasn't upset.
Oh, man. How's your week been?
Vibing. Can't complain. I mean, I have a lot of work to do, but, you know, what's life without work?
What's a man without work?
That's what my professor told me.
What's life without work?
Yeah.
I feel like the most memorable times in my life are either the most awful or like the most busy. Like stress to a certain extent is extremely like necessary, I think, to be content in life. Like you can't be content like completely stress free. You shouldn't be like at 100% capacity of your stress load always. But I feel like between like that 60 to 80% range is optimal for growth.
I don't know about stress.
You don't know about stress?
Maybe just like being busy and having to like, I don't know. I can do a lot and not be stressed. Like I'm not stressed. I have a lot to do, but I'm not stressed.
You be vibing though.
Yeah, like.
But like,
I don't think stress is necessary. I think just being busy enough to kind of apply large percentages of yourself that you otherwise wouldn't.
I think you built different. I think you have very good stress management skills. I think that's something that's, you know, in your parenting, number one. May Allah bless your mother. And also, just in you being built different. I think some people handle stress better. Because I've definitely been in times where I'm like, just stressful.
No, I'm not saying...
Next to me, you're like, I'm not stressed. I'm vibing, bro.
I'm not saying it's not stressful. I'm saying it's not necessary to be stressed.
Okay, so I feel like how we quantify stress is just because you don't feel stress doesn't mean there's not stress, but it's only 20% stress. Like you don't feel 20% stress. So it's kind of like this, right? You're lifting weights.
I knew you were gonna give away lifting.
It's a great example. If I'm lifting a 5-pound dumbbell, I'm not feeling that, but I'm still lifting. But I'm lifting, even like I was going to cap and say 50. If I'm lifting like a 35, okay, that's even capping. I haven't done arms in forever.
You're talking about curl?
Yeah.
Okay.
If I'm curling like 25, I'm like, that's stress. You know? That's stress on my muscle. But 5 is still stress. It's just a little bit. So, my point is, it is stress. You're like, it's not stress, bro. That's still stress. But it's like busy work. It's like doing like, so what you perceive maybe to be 80% stress, for someone else that's like a maximum like three reps left in the tank. Bro, you're doing elastic bands. You're doing elastic bands for that 80%.
Stress is like I'm like anxious and like severely worried about the outcome of things. Right? Like that's why I'm thinking stress is. Would you agree with that?
I don't know. I feel like
so you think just
that might be subjective.
You think just being busy is the stress? Is that what you're saying?
I think they're not one and the same, but oftentimes those two things are aligned.
I agree. I see
what you're saying.
And what I'm saying is they don't have to be aligned.
You got me. Okay. So stress is not necessary. Okay, I agree with your statement then. I just wasted all of our viewers' time. So I was asking, how's life? So you're saying you're busy, you're working?
Yeah.
Doing lots of stuff?
Working, school working, trying to find new jobs, grinding.
Oh, yeah. Hit your boy up on Hussein. Hit him up if you're trying to pay him a minimum $50 an hour. Hussein's worth a lot. Hussein's got like 13 different skill sets.
All that experimenting I did.
He did. Pause. It's really
pause indeed.
Moving forward. I mean, dude, like I get on myself.
Pause indeed.
Dude, like Hussein could do anything, but yeah, I haven't been stressed. I thought I was stressed because I was unemployed for so long. So long unemployed. I don't even feel right saying that out loud. I mean, I was always like trying to find work. I was always looking for work, but I was busy getting my IT certificate and I was unemployed for so long, doing just like side hustling work here and there, having like a full-time job for the first 2 weeks. I'm like, I'm stressed.
So like as
But I'm not stressed.
as someone who's kind of I guess more prone to stressing, how do you kind of manage your anxiety, manage your stress about different things?
God is the only good thing I got for you, bro. I mean, like it was a silly thing, but the other day I was like stressing for a second. But I feel like lack. First of all, there are like actual ways to mitigate stress. We have to address that. People who exercise are better at mitigating stress, period. Because exercising is literally choosing stress on your body in a controlled environment. And people who exercise guarantee have better stress tolerance.
It's like an outlet of
Yeah.
It's like an outlet.
And you train your body for stress, right? Like that's what running is. Meditation. Although I don't really do meditation, I pray. I make dua. That's my form of meditation. I don't know if that is considered, but if it isn't, then I don't do meditation.
I think meditation, most people would just think of it as like reflecting or like, so even I'd say even like journaling could be a form of meditation.
I do that,
for example.
I definitely do journaling. But I think the most important way for me that I mitigate stress is just by, dude, like I have to tell myself like, dude, God got it for the most part. As in, not that he got it for the most part. That's the first thing that helps me out. If I've done everything in my capacity.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm most stressed whenever I've done something wrong. Because I'm like, I feel guilt stress. Like, this is on my shoulders. I did something wrong. You know, like when you're a kid, you break something in the house.
Yeah, and you're like,
God.
Remember when I broke your light?
Yeah. I was just thinking about that. I've never seen you stressed before.
Yeah.
Like, that's the first time I think I saw you stressed.
Yeah, I was worried.
Like, I was like, bro, it's okay, bro.
I thought I was going to get disowned by Matthew's family because of accident. There was like this baseball that was on a string.
Yeah.
And like you throw it and it come back to you.
It comes back in the glove.
Yeah, and I was like throwing it in the hall, and we had been doing it like throughout the day.
Yeah.
I threw it too high, and it like hit the glass of his light bulb.
Just shattered.
And it shattered.
Dude, my dad would definitely disown me before he disowns you. Don't worry about it, bro. My family loves you. He'd be like, Matthew. Somehow he'd make it my fault. He'd be like, why'd you give him the glove? You should know better.
You should have saw in the future. But anyways, back to the subject. I forgot what you were saying.
Stress. So I'm thinking like the first thing is like, bro, you have to like. It sounds crazy. Some people are like, no way. You can just say God got it. But it's like I feel like that's because for the most part we don't really believe God got it.
I mean,
really,
yeah.
At the end of the day, right?
That's very true.
Because it's like, and God got it. God, I feel like I'm maybe speaking too fast. I'm saying God got it. Like God has it under control.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that
you don't do anything.
And it doesn't mean that he's going to do what you want.
Necessarily. Yeah, absolutely.
It just means, God's in control.
I've done everything I can.
Yeah.
The rest is not up to me.
Yeah, you have to just think like how inefficient you look as a human whenever you're trying to manage things that are outside of your control. Like, for example, if I'm leaving to work and I'm late, if I woke up as early as I should have, if I checked the traffic and when I left the house I said there's no traffic and I have everything ready and then I hit traffic, I should not be stressed about going to work late because I did everything in my capacity.
Yeah.
Even if my boss is like, I'm going to fire you if you're late that day. What can I do then? My boss is being unreasonable. That's the truth, right?
You can try to talk your boss out of being unreasonable.
That's it.
Yeah.
But I can't even control my boss. I shouldn't even try to I should try, but I shouldn't even say I have to.
Yeah.
I have to try.
So that anxiety kind of comes when you're trying to control, take control all the variables in your life, even the ones that are completely out of your control.
Yeah.
And you start worrying about the outcome of specific actions down to the very, very fine details.
Yeah.
That again are not even in your control.
You know what's funny? I see lots of these guru guys. Matt D'Avella isn't completely a guru, but I think he is officially kind of a guru now because he's selling a course.
He kind of introduced me into that world of self-help on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I'd call him like a self-help guru.
He's definitely a guru. Like he has his new course now. Have you seen it?
I thought it was
Slow Growth.
I thought it was for YouTube stuff.
No, that's a new one. So Matt's making money off helping people officially, like not just from ads. He's making money from. He teaches you habits. He has his own website. It's not even on Skillshare. It's this whole thing. I'm not saying it's bad. I haven't even tried it. I'm sure it's good because I think Matt is one of the people who puts like a lot of effort into things, and I respect that. But people like him and others in the space, they talk about this kind of stuff, and people like him are so interesting because they take like religious, spiritual concepts, and they take the lesson and then they
divorce it from the
completely make it devoid of the spirituality, and then kind of present it like it's this new thing.
Sometimes they'll keep the spirituality. Sometimes they'll
Really?
be like, connect with the universe.
That's atheist for God, right?
Sometimes that's
That's
God
atheist for
God
atheists. Atheists believe in the universe and luck. They don't believe in God
and randomness. Yeah.
That exists, right?
Yeah.
Because they can prove that. Anyways.
Oh.
Woo! Too judgy for some.
But anyways, some of them keep. Yeah, so I was just saying that some of them keep that stuff, except for they just, the universe. The universe can hear and respond to,
stop.
our wishes and our needs. But you're connected with the universe, yeah. So some of them keep that in there.
They keep that in there, but then it's like, bro, you're just like, it feels like I'm reading an article. It feels like I'm literally reading like a religious script. If I'm reading their script, it feels like I'm reading a religious script, but someone went in like Google Doc and like replaced word.
Yeah.
God with universe or luck. I don't know. But no, I mean, I think it's cool that if they're giving good advice that has like a religious origin. I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I just think it's funny because these people are like clearly agnostic or not religious. Atheists. He got Sam Harris on it, but anyways, enough about Matt D'Avella. I see a lot of people in the space, though, like use these principles. And what I think about myself is sad is like I'm Muslim. I live in a Muslim household. I have access to Islamic information. I have plenty of books in my basement I've never read. I have a lot of books. That are in English.
And you're on YouTube listening to Matt D'Avella.
Yeah, and I'm learning about I'm learning from Matt D'Avella about stress relief.
Mm.
Why am I not learning that information from the Ahl Bayt?
Mm.
Like it's just kind of crazy. Like sometimes like there's all this plethora of correct and very good information out there, but I just like I won't go to it, and that's something I feel like there's like this resistance. There's this resistance we have to learning what we should learn, but then we see it from some random person that like packages the information in a more unique or entertaining way. It's like, oh, that's dope, but it's like, bro, Islam told you that and more, and even better. Like for example, Matt D'Avella might say, I feel like this about Matt D'Avella. It's not Matt. If you're ever watching this. I love Matt D'Avella. I truly do.
If he ever watches
If he ever watches, I do. I love Matt D'Avella so much. He's so cool. I'm trying to get his arm day workout, whatever it is, bro. He's got massive arms, bro.
I think it's genetics, bro.
You think it's genetics?
Yeah,
I think he's got just cannons, bro.
Anyways.
That's what I'm just admiring.
Anyways.
So like, if you're watching one of his videos, he might teach you about meditation, and you might learn meditation is good for stress relief, right? But at the end of the day, you're just learning that meditation is for stress relief, right? Mm. But if you are someone who gets really into Salah,
or not even Salah, even just reflection. We have plenty of ahadith talking about the value of sitting and reflecting for even short periods of time.
What is it? An hour of reflection is like 100 years of wajib salah.
So I didn't want to put numbers on it because I didn't remember the hadith exactly.
That's a guess.
So, and I don't think that was it, but whatever.
The point is,
we do have these teachings, but in everyone's defense, my own and especially my own, sometimes there's an accessibility issue. A lot of times some of these books are poorly translated, if translated at all. So I will say that it can go both ways. It's not just on like us or people like us not going to the right sources for information. Sometimes those sources are just really bad, or not there,
or really poorly translated. A poorly translated source is almost worse than no source, because you might read it and then be like, "This makes no sense," like. Doesn't make sense. So it's like that's even worse. I'd rather just have no source.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like we take something like meditation, but then it's like, dude, I've known about my whole life about dua. And then I really recently I started looking into meditation because I was like, all these YouTubers talk about meditation. I can't get into it. So what if what is meditation? I did research, and apparently meditation is literally just a matter of focusing on one thing and not other things.
Mm-hmm.
That can literally be Salah.
I mean, that's what it should be, right?
But that's what it should be, right?
Yeah.
And then this isn't like science. It's just like a dude talking, right? This is just a dude talking. But the way samurai do meditation, right?
The way who?
Samurai.
Samurai. Okay.
Samurai. Gadanese.
Mm-hmm.
Gadanese. Okay, I'll stop. They're like sitting down, legs crossed, and they like their view is not, their eyes are not closed. Their eyes are like forward to the ground, down. And then I was hearing about like the instructions of how to like ideally pray Salah, and a scholar was like, don't close your eyes, look on the ground at your torba on the ground. The purpose of Salah is not to completely put yourself in a perfect situation to pray where there are no distractions. The purpose is to try to concentrate despite distractions.
Yeah.
And staring down more. And I don't know why. I saw like the graph of the samurai staring down, and it was like the same spot of where a torba would be. And I was just like, bro.
And like more to that topic, I guess, of not completely disconnecting yourself from reality while you're praying. That's also this is one of the many reasons why, being a communal society, being communal with each other is such a big part of Islam. Because when you're in the sufuf, right? In the masjid.
What is sufuf?
The rows. You're in the rows in the masjid, and someone's little kid is like running through.
He hits your torba.
Exactly.
It's like, God.
Like, all this is like part of that training,
Yeah.
To get to that ideal peak. But anyways, back to I guess stress relief. Stress relief or like dealing with anxiety. One of the things that kind of helps me stay even keel all the time, even when things aren't particularly going my way. I know my mom, growing up, my mom used to always have this saying.
You gotta have your mom on here, bro.
I know. Growing up, my mom always used to have this saying, "It's not that deep." So
really, she came up with that.
She didn't come up with it.
You stole that.
She didn't come up with it.
I know, but you got that from her.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
She'd be like,
she'd been saying that for a minute.
I don't know, I'd have a test or something. Like, I remember, what was I studying for?
High school test?
I might have been studying for my SAT. I remember even while I was studying for my LSAT, I was like, I need to get a really good score. And she's like, it's not that deep. She's like, you get a bad score, take it again. Study hard and take it again.
Yeah, wow.
And so I'm really a firm believer in that, doing everything I can, putting my best foot forward, and then leaving the rest to God. Also, anyone who knows me knows that I am constantly talking about vibing.
Constantly. You're gonna write your thesis on vibing, right?
Exactly. The joke is I can write a thesis paper on vibing.
I think you should.
Maybe.
I mean, you can like make it like something like vibing is being in flow state.
I mean, not necessarily even flow, but just
just
being
like actual
present.
vibing, like Iro.
Vibing is always being present. Like, you're not even worried about. You're not worried about things that you can't control. You're not worried about the little details that. Nothing is really giving you anxiety because you're always in the moment. You're taking everything.
You said
in.
something there that we need to emphasize. So you're saying nothing's giving you anxiety because you're always in the moment. And I think what that shows is anxiety, and I heard someone say this, I had to make it up myself, but anxiety is fear of the future. Depression is focus on the past. And vibing, like my boy was saying right here, is presence, like being right in the current moment, right? Would you say that's true?
Yeah, and so a lot of people are like, I'll be like at work or school or in the middle of an assignment, and they'll be like, "Yo, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm vibing. I'm working, but I'm vibing." Like, how are you vibing when you're at work? Yeah. I'm like, I'm always vibing.
Always vibing.
Literally. Or at least I try. I strive to always be vibing, And vibing is like a funny word to use. But there's actually like
started as a meme, right?
Yeah.
I'm vibing, bro.
Like a meme word to use.
Yeah.
But there's actually some like seriousness in it. And basically, I just mean being present.
Being present. I like it more than being present. Being present sounds like
you're taking yourself a little too seriously.
A little too seriously.
Yeah.
Like you post pictures of yourself meditating on your Instagram. Like you post that. I love that. I love that a lot. That reminds me of Uncle Iroh from Avatar. Man, was just constantly vibing. Like Prince Zuko is having
Literally
high anxiety.
The
like
definition
the
of
definition. Drinking tea,
Prince
chilling.
Zuko.
Prince Zuko's like, Father, I need to find the Avatar right now because and he's just like constantly in anxiety about the future and the past about the past with his dad and Zuko and like Iroh's there because he loves him, but he's just like, bro, chill out.
Prince Zuko.
That's pretty good.
Come drink
Prince
some jasmine tea.
And you know he'll pop off whenever he need to, because he's a complete human being. He's not like I think it reminds me of this conversation reminds me of archetypes, right? It's like we're not saying vibe to the extent where you're just that guy who has nothing going for him. That's not what vibing is, right? You don't ignore the present for the future or any of those other however you want to configure it, right? But it's like in life you're just less efficient if you're always thinking about the future, because the truth is you might die any day. Period fact. Imagine you live a day with anxiety about the future and that day you die. And that one day you didn't focus on any of the things you're supposed to do that day. Like imagine you're married, you're not focused on your spouse, your kids, because you're just too stressed. You see people when they're anxious, they do like that. Like I'm just too stressed, can't talk right now. Leave me alone. And it's like, okay, sometimes you should be stressed. Sometimes you should be stressed. There's a point of stress. Yeah, like the point of stress is to push you, but you can't allow it to be your like ultimate way of being.
Yeah, can't stay in that. You're not supposed to stay in that state perpetually.
Yeah,
you know, all these things, all these like fight or flight responses, all these different things that we have within our body, they're supposed to be temporary states, you know.
Yeah.
And then we're supposed to go back to homeostasis, something like that.
No, you're right. And actually, like they show that I learned this in high school psychology. So, but apparently, children of like abuse, because abuse triggers like fight or flight response, a lot of adrenaline. Adrenaline's like very powerful temporarily, but adrenaline's
sustained adrenaline
is actually poisonous for the body. Mm-hmm. So you see like stunted development,
stunted brain growth and stuff.
And even sometimes physical growth, because it's literally poisonous, right? So I guess the point is,
stay vibing. That's the point of this episode. Yeah. Stay vibing.
I'm happy we literally ran into this episode with no ideas. That improv is like on lockdown, dude.
Yeah.
GRE experience.
I'm glad I got to give some of my philosophy about vibe. But yeah, how do you get yourself back into a state of vibe, like, or a state of presence when you're out of it? Because I don't know, it's recently. Generally, I think this is just my general like predisposition. On top of like habits that I've formed, but it takes a lot to get me to like a point of stress, and usually it's not about like work or anything. It's about like, so I remember when I was working in the fire department, like really traumatic events there would get me like all the way teed up, you know. To the point where like, okay, my adrenaline is flowing, like I gotta do this for this patient to make sure they can even potentially make it out alive of the place that we're at, not even the hospital, right?
Yeah.
But coming down from that was always easy, because like after that event happens, you know, you kind of just have to sit with yourself.
Yeah.
You know? So, but if you're experiencing like job related stress or school related stress or work related, I said job already, but whatever. Anyways, family related stress, how do you kind of bring yourself down and bring yourself back into that state of presence and vibe?
Bro, I have no idea, bro. I'm not the best to even like. I'm not like a very vibey person like you. I feel like I think I'm better at managing anxiety than average maybe. I'm just comparing myself to my friends. I don't know what average is. I like a lot of, besides you have like a lot of friends who are like really high anxiety. But I don't know, man. I just be like, so first I just be anxious. And then I'm just like...
I know sometimes you'll call me and I'm like, bro, calm down, bro.
Yeah. Put me on blast, bro. Maybe sounded like your wife, bro. Babe, what's that?
You cut that out if you want.
I'll keep that in, bro. That's funny. It's true. I do. Like, sometimes I'll definitely call this thing because I need to get advice from Master Viber. Like Prince Zuko. I'm like, Uncle, how do I vibe? Take some jasmine tea, Maddie. Calm down. But, once I make sure I've done everything I can do, after that point, I ask myself, is there anything else I can do does my stress get me a better result? If not, stop stressing. And there's no way you can, like, I think, manually make yourself stop stressing. But at my worst times of stress, I just go bust out some, like, rakats of Salah. Like, non-mandatory salats. Just do 2 rakats. Just follow yourself.
Spiritual.
No,
Mackie.
bro. I'm not spiritual. Kill yourself. I'm definitely not a spiritual person. But, like, I just, you know, what did Ahlul Bayt do? Make wudu. Try lying down. If that doesn't work, I've seen you do that before. Like, one time we were having a heated discussion. Hussein just sat down. Hussein was standing, he sat down. Because our hadith show us that whenever you're angry, and I guess angry and anxious are kind of similar, you know, first sit down. If sitting down doesn't work, lie down. If lying doesn't work, what? Make wudu, make salah. So you have to just control yourself. However that works. So making wudu, lying down, making salah. Sometimes sleep. Sometimes, you know, when you're so stressed, your body needs to shut down. Sometimes you just, bro, like, if you just lay on a bed, you just knock out. Because the stress is literally physical. And mental stress is physiological.
Yeah. I think whenever the times I can remember when I've, like, been at, like, my peak stress due to, like, job or school or something like that, I just hear, or, like, even worrying about, like, exam results and stuff, I just hear my mom's voice, like, it's not that deep. It's not that deep. It's not that deep. It's not that deep. It's just like, it's not that deep. It's just in the back of my head.
A good reminder is, you know, as humans and as Muslims, we believe that God did not put us on this earth to do a certain thing. To like create a certain thing. We're on this earth to try our best, right? But like ultimately we understand that the outcome is not in our hands always. You try your best, right? If after that point you're not held accountable, you just gotta make sure you're trying your best.
Yeah.
And after that point, it's like, dude, let it go. Maybe the stress. I'm not trying to get too deep. Maybe the stress is ego. Maybe the ego is like, hey, I'm in control. You're not in control. God's in control. Yeah. You know, so like, let go of like your ego. Like, why does it have to be a certain way? No, you have to try your best. You have to try to do the right thing to your capacity, to your understanding. After a certain point, let your ego go. It doesn't help. That's not your job.
Yeah, and I just want to be clear. This is not me advocating you going to your friends or family with legitimate issues that they're worried or anxious about and telling them it's not that deep, unless you have that kind of relationship. Unless you have that kind of relationship where you think you can do that. So I don't encourage going to someone like a victim of abuse or something, or someone who's abused at home. And it's
in God's hands.
And telling them it's
about
not that
leave
deep.
Islam real quick.
It might and it might be true what you want to say. It might not be that deep actually. You know, the serious issue that they have with a family member might not actually be that deep.
Yeah.
But unless someone can actually hear you or like listen to you in those times, don't worry about saying it. Obviously, I have a relationship with my mother where, one, nothing too bad happened to me, and two, she's able to say that to me even about things that I was more anxious or stressed out about.
Communication is not about saying the truth or saying your truth or being honest. Communication is about having someone understand your point.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you're right. I hate this example. It's such an immature way of thinking, and I still do it all the time. But it's like, no one cares if you're right. You can't just say the right thing if it's not heard. You have to. I heard someone say, like, the battle is, do I want to be heard or do I want to be right? No one cares if you're right. Why are you speaking? Communication is about being understood. So, yeah. I think we can end it here, though.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the discussion about stress and vibing.
What is it, 34 minutes?
Yeah.
Quality podcast. If you guys enjoyed this podcast, what do they do, Zane?
Hit us up on Patreon first and foremost.
Absolutely. Patreon.com/thoughtfulbanter.
We need your money. We're poor, very poor, but we're not anxious about it. We're
broke,
vibing.
We're not poor.
Sorry, we're broke.
We're not poor.
We're very broke, but we're not anxious about it. We're vibing. Also, hit us up on YouTube and follow us on Instagram at Thoughtful Banter with an X instead of an A in the banter.
Yeah, and follow us on Spotify too. Whatever you're listening to this on, like it. Do whatever the algorithm needs to boost this episode into a system. That is it for this video. Hope you guys stay well. Stay
All the
vibing.
links will be in the description.
Absolutely. We will see you guys next time, every Monday at 8 a.m. Masalama.
Ma'asalama.
That looked like a lot of memes.
Those are good memes.
This year was just memes.
Thoughtful banter. Sometimes thoughtful, mostly banter. All the memes.